Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone, to Saturday's night leadership call. I like to call it leadership because honestly, the people who are leaders, who see themselves as leaders in this business, will be on the call on a Saturday night. Not everybody is versus the week. You know, we have our family commitments and things like that, but maybe you're watching this later on the recording, which is awesome. You're still taking the time to watch it. So what is the topic? I guess you can say this would be the topic of it. It would be, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Or can we? So hear me out before you guys start objecting to that comment. See, here's the thing. I do believe this to be true for someone who is already a red apple and is ready to go. However, what about those people who need something or maybe don't realize they really do need something and change in their life? So does anybody know people like that around them, family members and so forth, people maybe that need to think about their future and they don't? They see the opportunity like this and they say no thank you, even though you know their situation, their financial situation. So I want to think back of when we first got introduced to the business, it's been some time ago, and how we were approached was over lunch through a close girlfriend's sister. I recall her going through a survey sheet with us and asking us a series of questions to find out what we were paying on our services and how we can save some money. So this, it absolutely intrigued me. However, she never pulled out a business overview. I do remember that, but she only spoke about the concept. And I remember getting enough information that she made me curious. And I had to ask, is this something that we could do? I'm not sure if this was all her plan all along. However, she had me curious, but she did not close me. And I do remember that. I wonder if she had tried to close me, if she had at that moment, being that honestly, I felt at that time in our lives, we were completely red apples, that I would have signed up then and there on the spot. It was, however, through like follow-up, maybe a week or so later, that she reached me by phone and we had a conversation, and where she made me thinking. She made me to start thinking. So how she made me think was by asking me a series of questions to analyze where I was at the moment, where I wanted to be in the future, and then make me realize I had no vehicle or plan in place to get me there. Through that questioning and the ability to get me to think is what got me or got us to sign up in the business. So one thing that I do recall about my girlfriend's sister, her name was G, was that she was in sales. At the time, she sold durable medical equipment to doctors' offices, and was traveling a lot. She had 2 small children at the time, and that was her motivation to do the business, so that she could be home with them and not miss out on so much of the opportunity of as they grew. So thinking back to that last conversation, I know that she was well trained in sales and closing. It absolutely reflected that by the questions that she was able to ask at the right times and with the right tonality. So I know all of you have heard Mr. Thomas mention this before on different conversations. He used the analogy of specializing in medicine. So we understand that a normal doctor will get paid a lot. However, a doctor that specializes in, say, maybe the heart or the brain, like brain surgery or whatever, they'll get paid a lot more. So why is that? I think it's pretty obvious, right? It's because they spend a lot more time learning and specializing in that one organ. The key is they spend more time learning and studying and become professionals or expert at that specific skill set. Thinking about that concept, I realized that this business is no different than any type of business out there, in the sense that if you specialize in a skill set, you will learn it well, you studied it, and you spend time to learn just like a specialized doctor in that skill set, you will get paid for that effort in the long run. You see, our business is made many things extremely simple for the average person like you and me who has no skill sets learned from sales or previous experience. So for example, going to customer acquisition, because that is the bread and butter of our business, of course, it's extremely simple because we focus on people we know, we ask for a favor, and we share our why from our heart. And we know for a fact that people always make decisions emotionally and then they back it up logically. So this has been proven in so many studies. It's not anything new. We know that for a fact. So we know the hard part is honestly getting past our ego, getting it out of the way in order for this to actually work for us. So we hear the stories of people who rack up the points very quickly, and they are the people who follow the proven system by asking for the favor, sharing their why, which contributes to their quick success. Some people take a little longer to get that concept ingrained in our heads and will eventually do it and start to get the results they could have gotten, honestly, a long time ago. What about team building? If we know how to get customers by asking our friends and family, or at least keep building more relationships, which would turn into friendships to eventually ask them for a favor for customers, what about building a team and introducing them to the concepts of this business? So, of course, we always go to our friends and family to share the business first, and then ask for the favor and see if they will be our customers. We know that's the standard, right? But team building, again, is something extremely simple if you follow the system, because we always take ourselves out of the way and we talk about our mentor or sponsor, or someone who should close them in the business. So what about as you advance in the business and you pique someone in the business and you call them on the phone to perhaps build some form of rapport and trust, and to kind of qualify them into a presentation, right? Because we got to make sure that they're even open to it, right? So reflecting about how Jeet was able to make me think, I believe it's important we master the skill sets of having initial conversations with a prospect as well as closing them. This is a skill set just like learning and studying to specialize in brain or heart surgery as a physician. Call it sales or whatever you want to, but it is a skill set that can help you master and become an expert in the industry. So now if you follow Eric Worre, which I know everybody probably has heard about who he is because we promote that book, the first the book that Mr. Thomas gives to people. So you understand that he always talks about becoming a professional of this industry, and he emphasizes learning the skills necessary to be successful. So the question is, how many of you have learned the skill set of asking questions to get people to think, to make them realize perhaps their current problem, maybe the root of the problem, and even greater than that is how it is affecting them personally? So remember, we always make decisions emotionally, not logically. So some time ago, I got a phone call from a security door company that was religiously calling me every maybe 6 months or so to see if I was interested to set up a meeting or to learn more about their security door systems. You see, several years ago, I don't even know, it probably had to be 4+ years ago or more, that we went to a home show and they had someone there and I expressed my interest in their security doors. So from that moment on, I would receive a phone call from a gentleman, and I should remember his name since he was doing this all the time, but he called every 6 months asking if I was ready to learn more. At the time and continually, I just would tell him, not at the moment, and he would ask, is it okay if I reach out to you sometime later? I would say yes, and he would call me back 6 months or so later. We know the importance of follow-up, but I will tell you, I'll tell you what, this company completely had it down. I even told my husband that if and when we are ready to for a security door, we would definitely go with that company because they were so persistent and consistent. Well, time passed and I didn't get my 6-month follow-up call from this gentleman, which made me think, oh, he must have left the company or something. Interestingly enough, a few weeks not too long had passed, and then I get a call from a lady from the same company and asked me the same question the gentleman would always ask me. I told her that there was a gentleman who always called me and asked if he had left the company. She did say that he was no longer there and she was calling on his behalf. So me being in sales or form of it, I had to ask, what was their method they were using for follow-ups? And she explained they just had it in their books. Now, I don't know if those books were old school, just writing it down, like index cards, or if it became like maybe put it in an app, or because I use an app or Excel type of program, but they absolutely had it down as far as the follow-up process, that's for sure. So I praised her for how consistent they were with the follow-up. So I will tell you as a side note, it is so important you find a method for yourself when you put people through your pipeline that you don't lose them. That is super, super important. So what is your method for follow-up? Ask yourself that question. And if you don't have one, definitely find one now. So it doesn't matter if it's old school index cards or like I said, a calendar book reminder, or again, I use an app, or putting them on an Excel file or putting them in a notebook. It doesn't matter your method. It just makes sure that you have one and you master that system down so you are not losing people in your pipeline. So continuing on the conversation, I did mention that, again, we were not in the market at this time, and she asked, again, is it okay if she reaches out later to see if we were at another time? Of course, I said yes. So hanging up the call, I had to ask myself, was there anything in this that this company could have done differently that would have got me to move forward past another phone call 6 months or so later? You see, they have the follow-up part down, absolutely. And because they're persistent and consistent, which is important, of course, but did they have the conversation down? I don't think they did. So let me explain why. So I actually created a little skit that I did. It's kind of funny because you'll see. And I'll kind of show you how the conversation, in a nutshell, just recollection, how it went down. So let's watch that training now.
Hello, Rose. Yes. Hi, this is Ivan, and I was calling from Securities R Us, and you were interested in a security door, and I wanted to see if now is a better time for you. No, not right now. I have too much going on. Now's just not a good time. Okay, would it be okay to call you in the future? Sure. Okay, well, have a good evening, ma'am.
That was the first conversation. So let me go back and share with you the second conversation. So like I said, could something have gone, could they have said something differently? Absolutely. In fact, this is what I think they could have said that could have created a different result. So let me go ahead and pull that up now.
Hello, Rose. Yes. Hi, this is Ivan, and I was calling from Securities R Us, and you were interested in a security door, and I wanted to see if now is a better time for you. No, not right now. I have too much going on. Now's just not a good time. Okay, not a problem. I don't see here in the notes, but I was just wondering, what got you interested with the security door to begin with? Well, I was interested because I thought it would be nice to have, so we could leave the front door open and get a breeze when it's nice outside and not have to worry about anyone trying to get in. I understand. Was there any other reason you were looking at security doors? Well, I guess it would also allow us to leave our house fan on earlier in the morning to cool it down so our AC didn't kick on sooner. Oh, I see. And what are you guys doing now to allow you to cool your house down? Right now, we do turn on our house fan and open the windows and the back slide door, but we don't open our front door. When we do open the back slide door, I don't like it open too early in the morning because the screen door isn't very secure. Oh, okay. So besides not liking the back door open because it's not secure, is there anything else that you don't like? Just knowing that the slide door isn't secure doesn't really make me feel safe. I get that. Has that had an impact on you? Yeah, I guess so. I'm really not able to completely relax when I know it's open with the house fan on so early in the morning. So Rose, how do you see the benefits of you actually solving this problem? Honestly, I just see me being able to relax, not stress as much about it, and be able to use the whole house fan a lot more so our AC doesn't kick on so soon. Now, what if you don't do anything about these problems and your solution gets worse, Rose? I really haven't even thought about it, but it certainly wouldn't be a good thing if it did get worse. How important would you say it is for you to solve the problem of being able to use your whole house fan so you can save on your energy bill, but more importantly, help you feel safe and secure.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty important, and that would be really nice to be able to do that.
Well, you know how you mentioned you would like to feel safe leaving your door open and use your house fan more so you can save on your utility bill? With our security doors being made with the best metals, ensuring durability and keeping anyone from trying to get in, as well as allowing for air to come through easily, while also giving you the ability to still see people on the outside without them being able to see you on the inside. Do you feel this would provide you with what you're looking for, Rose?
Yeah, it does sound like it's something that we could use.
Great. The next step is to schedule a technician to come out to show you a sample of the solid and durable metal we use on our security doors and view our catalog of the possible door that might work for you. Would that be appropriate?
Yeah, sure. I think we can plan that. If I don't have to commit to buying, I think we can do this.
Absolutely. They will be coming out to show you some photos, let you handle the metal, review catalogs, and then you can go from there. Would that be feasible?
Okay, let me grab my calendar.
All right. So as you can see from that, do you see the difference? Can you see how asking the right questions and get someone to share their why? Get to the root of where they are, get some emotions involved in their current situation, but more importantly, move them towards the funnel to a close. So I certainly hope you understand the importance of truly digging into finding people's why, getting to the root cause of the problem and how it is affecting someone personally. So how many of you guys would love to have some form of index cards or maybe a cheat sheet of what questions you could ask someone to move them through the process of discovering those deep down issues that they may have? So I was excited to get them too. So my next call, which will be actually scheduled for the third Saturday in July, I will share that information with you. So now keep in mind, there's absolutely technique in how you do this. You certainly don't want to sound like you're interrogating someone. And there's definitely a lot of practice that should be done with using these questions, because it's not just about how you say it, but it's also about what you say. Okay. And that's where those cheat sheets or flashcards will come into play. So now I will tell you, disclaimer, if what you're doing is working, absolutely stick to it. This is, you know what, you're signing people up and so forth, and don't do anything different. So this is just an extra tool in your tool belt if it could help you. So now, so me personally, I'm spending time learning this skill set, which is involved in sales, and that's exactly what we're doing. So, and if you didn't realize that, you need to understand that it's not a bad thing at all, because we're all in sales, no matter how you want to look at it, whether you're a parent, whether you're an employee or you're a student, we all try to sell ourselves, our ideas, our values, our morals, what we want. It doesn't matter. You know, kids are the best at it, right? So tune in the third Saturday in July, and we will cover all that together. So with that being said, you guys take care. God bless. Have a good evening. Bye-bye now.